is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
So this is the first of what hopefully will be many videos. This is a movie review of sorts, a Grimm movie review. That was weird. So we just got done seeing the new Halloween movie. We had advanced tickets, courtesy of Promote Horror. So thank you very, very much. It was pretty darn amazing in my opinion. Let's start off by saying that. What did you think? Initial thought. Well, we'll get into more detail, so to speak, without any spoilers, but
I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
I am not as much of a fanatic Michael Myers fan as most are, but I love my classic horrors, and I know the importance of them in the horror community and things like that. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it was super enjoyable. Not cheesy. Not. And
you know what? Yeah, no, you're right. It wasn't cheesy.
No.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I got so much stuff wrong. Go ahead.
What I'm trying to search for the right word. It's not cliche. Like a lot of the sequels tend to be. You're like, oh, so they're coming. That's my new face. It's not like. Of course, everything's a little predictable with a storyline because you know, kind of have to have a direction, and not everything is going to always be surprise, surprise, surprise. But I really liked how they told the story. I wasn't bored. I think I jumped a time or two. So did you.
Mm-hmm.
I pointed it out when you did. I think there might be some new music that I don't feel familiar with. But like again, I'm not the fanatic here with Michael Myers films.
I can pick this movie apart down to the last word, script for script for script. I'm going to start off saying the negative first, okay? I have one big negative about this movie, believe it or not. Well, I was so excited about seeing this movie, and before I get into anything, leaving it, like I said, it was amazing. It felt a little too clean for me.
Like not gory enough?
Not necessarily gory enough, but it was almost like the scenes were very clean. Now keep in mind, one of my all-time favorite horror films is Halloween from the late 70s, and it has a very dirty kind of feel to it. But this one was just very clean, and
like the houses were too clean?
I don't know, like it was almost like sterilized in parts ways, and I realize me saying that kind of kills it, but it was very minute, and it just kind of made up for it. There were parts where it felt like it was going to go over the top, and then it stopped. Like it was just not all the way there. Like all the kill scenes to me, it was just like, okay, next. So it was.
Well, nothing, I guess what you would say wasn't prolonged.
Right.
Or it kind of went up to a crescendo, and then it would leave your imagination to it.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. There was kind of lost where I was going with this part. The whole point of Michael Myers, The Shape, which I'm very, very happy about, we'll talk about that in a second here, without giving spoilers away, is Michael Myers is a cold, emotionless, thoughtless killer with one purpose for living, and that's his sister, Laurie Strode. Okay? So, for most of the movie, not once did I care at all about any of the characters, at all.
No.
Except for Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Michael Myers towards the end. Other than that, it was like I kind of felt like I was watching a crime documentary on TV at times. That's how clean. That's what I mean by clean. Like it was very well thought out, and it wasn't brutal, it wasn't gory, it wasn't over the top. Like in the 70s with John Carpenter, in the 80s, it was like...
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
It was like, let's make a movie. There was all this passion in it. There was all this stuff. Rob Zombie's movies, they were just like brutal, hard-hitting, bam, bam, bam.
It's like the violence almost took a little bit of a
back
backseat.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by clean.
Like they try to leave more up to your imagination in scenes. Like you could see some of the things unfolding, but you were a little bit of it at a distance. It wasn't up in your face, killing, blood splatter and everything. I don't know if that's giving anything away, but
what they did show...
They could have included a bit more in that. A little more detail around the actual killings, I think, would have maybe brought it out a bit more. But I don't think they were trying to focus on that or let you focus on it too much. This is what Jason does, is, he kills. So I think they wanted you to more focus on the main intention.
Yeah. What they did show, the death scenes, it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was really cool.
They weren't cheap.
No.
The death scenes were not cheap. The killing scenes were not cheap. They didn't cheat you out of anything. You still get, I think, a good experience. But like we said, I would have liked to have seen more detail instead of leaving so much of it up to your imagination.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's great. But when you do it a lot, you just kind of feel a little lacking minutely.
Yeah, I agree. The movie was filled with little Easter eggs to the movies, and Jessica and I haven't really talked about them yet.
But even me, I recognize some. Like I said, I've seen them. I'm familiar with them, but not like really. I haven't watched them repeatedly. So even for me, I recognize some scenes. And I was like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, this is the first time that we're actually talking about it. Usually, like, when we see a movie, we'll be like, oh my God, what'd you think of this? What'd you think of that?
This usually happens in the car on the way home.
So we were like, nope, no talking about it. We even skipped talking to the studio representatives about what we thought so we can share it with you.
Yeah, because at the, since this is a premiere, they wanted, if you wanted to, outside the movie entrance, they have like a survey for you to take, kind of, give your thoughts, your first impressions, not like generic impressions. I thought it was great. Specifically, what did you like? Did you not dislike? What did it for you? What didn't? But we were going to do that, but we skipped it because for you. So you're getting our first thoughts.
Yeah. All right. So parts of the movie felt clean. Mm-hmm. Like it was very well produced, like a well produced song. I mean, it was beautiful. There were a few scenes, and I'm going to say this without giving a spoiler away, but I'm going to turn to you because you might have seen me like, I was like in shock when the little boy was walking in front of the car with the headlights, and it was like the headlights created this beautiful backdrop of the little boy with the shotgun.
Oh,
it was beautiful. Like I saw this, and there's a Twitter account called The Perfect Shot, I think it is, and every now and then they post like these perfect shots from movies, and I just saw this as one of those. Like it was like watching a liquid art piece unfold, and it was breathtaking to me. I don't know, like I look for things like that. It was very clean, a little breathtaking at points. There are parts where you cheered on the murders. Halloween, Michael Myers, you know the movie, I know the movie, Jessica knows the movie.
Yeah.
It's a little predictable.
I think I know what you mean about clean, thinking about it now, because it's like you have modern technology, you have modern filming and everything. And so the scenes can feel a little clean because of there's no grit to the film like we're used to from the 70s. But that being said, a lot of people have tried to make additions to their films like Indiana Jones, so many years after the fact. This did not feel like it was artificial. This felt like it was filmed on the streets in an actual neighborhood. Whether it was, I don't know.
North Carolina or South Carolina.
It did feel clean. The images feel clean because this film is so clean and it's HD and all that, whatever high-end stuff. But it didn't take away from the quality of it, though.
No.
Like, the scenes felt full. They felt authentic. It's just we're used to having that grittiness of the film quality that we all grew up with. And you've seen when they do a lot of films, especially, you know, when they're editions, something gets lost in translation. This is not one of those films. Nothing gets lost in translation because it's better equipment, newer equipment, you know, new times, new whatever, new technology and new techniques. It felt like it really was a continuation of the original films as far as the feeling of the movies, characters, etc. That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So we keep saying it felt too clean, It's bloody. It's not that it felt, that's not what we're saying, but I think it's more the quality of the film gave it that kind of sparkling newness.
Right.
Like new car smell until you get it worn in. But that's just the new technology feeling. It still felt really authentic, like it actually did belong in with the original films, in my opinion.
As you were talking, it came up with like a couple of different points.
I got some nostalgia from watching this movie.
Yeah, there's some nostalgia in it. Back to what I was saying earlier about it being the story of Halloween, Michael Myers being somewhat predictable, because you know the whole story. There was something that happened in this movie that completely caught me off guard. I was like, I did not see this coming, and that's you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No spoilers get away with this one, but because it's a big one.
When it did happen, though, I kind of wasn't surprised.
Yeah, true.
Like, if they're going to have a twist, I was like...
That was the perfect spot to have a twist.
It made me wonder how the first event happened, because it's like, okay, they're leaving that to your imagination. They're not letting you know how that happened. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm not so surprised. And it's like, well, okay, let's see what happens with this. And then it's like, oh, okay. So even the surprise wasn't as much as a surprise. Once it happened, you're like, oh.
So the other big thing is something that Jessica pointed out, is Josh Hartnett. It's the Josh Hartnett conundrum.
Yeah.
All right. So Jamie Lee Curtis had a son.
In Halloween H2O, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Halloween H2O.
I think so.
If we get this wrong, we're sorry. But Jamie Lee Curtis had a son, H2O, and in this new Halloween world, which is odd that Danny McBride, I mean, I'm just going to say this. I know I'm all over the place. Danny McBride from Eastbound and Down and Year One is one of the writers for Halloween and
Really?
Alien. Yeah.
He's doing
Alien
amazing
Covenant,
stuff
right?
lately. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I mean, who knew? We love you. Thank you.
Yeah. Danny McBride. Awesome. But not once is Jamie Lee Curtis's son mentioned in this at all.
But
like, what did we skip?
So we were trying to figure out the storyline and what it's a continuation of. Because it's like, okay, we obviously the first movies, you're like, okay, so it probably cuts off from there. It's like, well, did H2O not happen then in this universe? They don't.
Yeah, we missed something.
It's not like someone. What's the word? It's not like they didn't include him. He's not mentioned, but there's no hint of him. Well, no, because when they show the picture of her as a little girl, that's not a spoiler, right? Of course, there's always a shot of someone with family photographs. All I'm saying is that there was no son. There was just her daughter.
So, if you have any answer to or thought to what we're going to call the Josh Hartnett conundrum, let us know. Let us know what you think. So,
I'm just guessing in this universe, in this multiverse, whatever, that didn't happen in this one. Because they do allude to the first films as far as like experiences, why the character is the way she is.
Right.
They don't talk about her experiences in that film. So it's like the first two only stand.
Like, okay. Oh, man. All right.
You know, yeah.
There's
they
so
talk about
many.
His kill count. They talk about Michael's kill count.
Well, yeah. So, I keep saying so a lot. I say so all the time. I should have a t-shirt that just says, I say so. So, what's your question? Before we went to go see this movie, I watched the trailer once, and that was the other day. Because up until, now...
I've seen it on TV.
Okay. Well, I haven't. Halloween, you got me sold. Let's go kill somebody with a knife. I shouldn't probably say that out loud. I mean, in reference to the movie. There's so many horror films changed directors over the years. There's so many different. It's mind-boggling. So I really don't know where this one is supposed to sit in between 1978 John Carpenter to today. It felt like, because they do say the kill count was 5.
5.
So it's like the original Halloween movies, and then nothing else exists, which would explain the Josh Hartnett conundrum. He doesn't have a son because they completely, from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Rob Zombie stuff, which I absolutely love,
Beautiful.
by the way.
Yes, it was beautiful.
It was like it completely erased it. It doesn't exist anymore, and it's like, let's get it going.
Well, this is Halloween 4.
No, Halloween 4 is the house from Halloween Horror Nights. So it's a completely
That's where
different
I'm
world.
confused. Oh, this is just Halloween.
This is just Halloween.
Just Halloween.
This is like Halloween Part 2, but even though it's
But the
Halloween
title's
Part
confusing.
74.
Yeah, the title is a
Not
bit
really
confusing.
74. I've got all kinds of crazy shadows all over the place. It's like I'm like a demented.
No, you're right. Halloween 4 is the haunted house.
I'm like a nightmarish Peter Pan over here. I hate Peter Pan.
We hate Peter Pan.
All right. So, in closing, I said so again. In closing, going into this, diehard Halloween fan, I loved it. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. Jessica, not really a Halloween fan. She gets it. She appreciated it, but she
Yeah.
wasn't like, eh.
He's not my favorite. He's never been my favorite.
I'm walking away still loving it. 2 thumbs up. 6
Oh, no,
feet
I love
under.
this. Don't get me wrong. I love this.
What did you think of this movie in the 2018 Halloween universe? Her opinion matters more than anything that was said today.
I love this movie, and in today's, oddly enough, quality of film and day and age and technology, we've been really shafted on good horror films. I'm not gonna lie, we have. There's been a lot of ones that, I don't know, people have loved them, and I think I fell asleep in the movie theater, which was, for me, it was Hereditary. Fight me.
Everybody loved that movie too.
I realized that I got bored. I was like getting really sleepy and bored, and I started doing like that thing where I fidget because I am not watching the film, and I was like, I'm in the theater right now. I'm not at home. So,
Gabriel Byrne was like the best part of the movie Hereditary,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I love Toni
there was one
Collette.
surprise in that movie for me, and that was a little girl. You know what? If you haven't seen this film, I'm gonna shut my face. But so no, that I felt a bit cheated in
Just
Hereditary.
don't stick your head out the window.
We saw The Nun recently, though, and actually, I quite enjoyed that. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I thought it was going to be cheesy
Beautiful
and
movie.
overdone and lacking something, and that was beautiful. So my impression of Halloween 2018 is fucking thank you. Like, I think they really did it justice. I think this is going to produce a lot more fans for the franchise, which makes me excited because it means more content for us coming out. Hopefully, thank you. Please. I got nothing bad to say about it. And that's not always how I go with films. I'm one of those people who, I can't help it. I pick things apart when I watch a film. And yeah, I was doing that with this a little bit. But all in all, I really enjoyed it. It's something I can't wait to own and actually watch it more times at home. I know someone's car is awful.
We're in a car, by the way.
I
It's a
don't often
steering
say
wheel.
that either about films. I see them once and I'm like, I don't really care to see that again. It's not something I'm going to enjoy watching at home because it's over for me. This is something I'm going to enjoy having in my collection to pull out on like a night when I want a good horror movie. And when I feel like I want a classic horror movie, a specific genre, which would be for me the 70s, I put that right there in the, this feels like Halloween 3 for me. It feels like a continuation of the first two, and I loved it.
I'm really, really excited about all the Easter eggs. I can't say that enough. We'll talk about
And
this
I
in
don't
great
know all
detail.
of them. I saw a few of them.
We purpose. I mean, I want to tell you everything about this movie.
Don't do it.
But it can't. Not allowed. Because you need to see it, and then you need to talk amongst yourselves with your loved ones or yourself. And if you talk to yourself about this movie, more power to you. Just don't put on a Captain Kirk mask inside out.
Or if you don't have anybody to talk to about this movie with, just do it in the comments. We're happy to talk about film.
Yes. Yes.
If you've seen it, tell us what you thought.
Yeah. Closing statements. We're like going on like 20 minutes, 21 minutes here. Now we're just rambling.
Film.
It was good. It was good.
This is worth a 20-minute conversation. This film is worth a 20-minute conversation.
I personally have 2 closing statements.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say anything else, and then you can have a closing statement if you want.
No, I'm done.
All right. 1. At the very end, they do a very special thanks to somebody who's very, very important.
They do?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Did I miss it?
I guess
Apparently.
apparently you did. So I was very happy to see that. It warmed my heart. The second one, Blumhouse.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
Blumhouse.
Your Halloween Horror Nights house isn't really that good.
It's the last on my list. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I had hopes for it, too.
It's not cohesive. It's not a good story. I mean, The Purge and Happy Death Day, awesome. Together under the same roof.
I love the film separately.
I don't get it.
Honestly, I think that Happy Death Day did not work as a haunted house, and if it had just been The Purge as a full house, it would have been amazing. But apparently they had that last year from what I'm told, so we missed out this year, and that's okay. We plan to come back next year, so we'll see what you have.
Yeah. You can do the scare actor dining and meet one of the Purge characters from what we gather, what we've seen online, but we're not doing that.
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty
Yeah.
lady. With that being said, your house at Halloween Horror Nights, I'm sorry, we're not a big fan of it. We're not going to do that one again. But it's so interesting that when it comes to Blumhouse, it's like we're and then the very next sentence, that movie rocked. You did a really, really good job. Thank you. Horror fans across the nation, across the world, go see this movie.
Yes.
You
need to see it in theater. You do.
Amazing.
And I don't say that about a lot of films.
And the opening! Oh my god! Okay, I gotta shut up.
Oh, the music. Man.
Bye.
I think, yeah. Okay, bye.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.